Hi, I'm Maria Tarantino, and I'm going to demonstrate 6 exercises today which will require the engagement of your pelvic floor and your transverse abdominis. Why is your pelvic floor important? Maybe because you don't want to have to wear these. Maybe because you don't want to have to use this. Maybe because you want to improve your sex life. Maybe because you don't want to have your colon fall out of your rectum. Maybe because you don't want to have your uterus fall out of your vagina. These are all good reasons to pay attention to your pelvic floor and to exercise it daily. Now, your pelvic floor is hardest to engage when you're upright because of gravity. Easiest to engage when you are inverted, such as in down dog. We're going to do our exercises today lying on our backs with the knees bent, so it'll be a little easier than upright. In order to engage your pelvic floor, you need to close the openings and bring all of your energy up and in. Okay? It's rather like a Venus flytrap. If you're a woman, you might have 3 Venus flytraps. If you're a man, 2. So exhale and close and lift your pelvic floor. Do not engage your gluteus muscles. They are not part of your pelvic floor. In addition to engaging your pelvic floor, we are going to engage our transverse abdominis while we do these exercises. Why is this important? Your transverse abdominis helps to stabilize your pelvis. If your pelvis is destabilized, your back is destabilized, your low back. If you engage your transverse abdominis, stabilize your pelvis, it stabilizes your low back. The transverse abdominis runs from the hip points towards the center of the belly. The fibers of the muscle run transversely or horizontally all the way down to the pubic bone. When you engage it, you're pulling these 2 hip points together. So it's rather like tightening a belt around your low belly. Another visual would be trying to put on a tight pair of jeans. Exhale, engage the transverse abdominis, shrink the low belly, and zip up your jeans. Good. Let's do the exercises. Shrink your pelvic floor and your low belly away from your yoga pants, simultaneously contracting the pelvic floor and the transverse abdominis. Make sure that you have a neutral pelvis. That means that the pubic bone and the 2 front hip points will be on a parallel plane with the floor. If you're tilting your pubic bone up and hip bones back, you're not on a parallel plane with the floor and you're posteriorly tilting your pelvis. If, on the other hand, the hip points are rising up and the plane is diving down, then you're in an anteriorly tilted pelvis, and you can see there's an arch. I can fit my whole arm under my lumbar spine. So you want a neutral spine, which means that maybe for some people the low back will be grazing the floor, and for some it will be off the floor a little bit. Because the transverse abdominis isn't engaged with tilting the pelvis. Rectus abdominis does that work. Transverse abdominis is deep to rectus abdominis and the obliques, and it's just like a weightlifter's belt that tightens around your core. So imagine a rope in the center of you, and you're drawing all your muscles in to squeeze that rope. And we'll start our first exercise, heel slide. So once again, exhale, shrink the pelvic floor, low belly, and then inhale, slide the right foot out, and exhale, slide it back. You can place your hands 2 inches below your navel and 2 inches to the inside of your front hip points. Inhale, slide the right leg out. Exhale, slide it back. And make sure you feel some tightness here. If you don't feel any tightness here and you can't find the engagement, then you could try doing this. Bring your feet a little bit closer to your butt. Tilt your pelvis posteriorly to keep the back in a safe position, and then gently raise both feet off the floor just an inch. Put your fingers back, and I guarantee you, you will feel your transverse abdominis engaged here, because you can't lift both feet off the floor in this position without engaging it. Then lower your right foot to the floor. Gently come back to a neutral pelvis as you lower the left, but keep the engagement, keep pulling, just as if you were lifting both feet off the floor. Slide the left leg out as you inhale. Exhale, bring it back in. Keep lifting weight out of this left leg as you slide the right leg out on an inhale. Exhale, bring it back in. Repeat this exercise 8 times. Exercise number 2, knee opening out to the side. Keeping the engagement in the pelvic floor and the transverse abdominis, make sure your right hip stays stationary as you let your left knee open up to the left. Don't let that right hip move. Control the left knee as it falls out to the left, and then bring it back in on an exhale. Changing sides. Inhale as you let the right knee go out to the right. Control it. Don't let the left hip move. Stabilize your spine. Engage your transverse abdominis. Exhale. Bring it back in. You're not taking that knee all the way to the floor. You're just taking it out as far as you can control it. Inhale as it comes out. And exhale, bring it back in. Repeat this exercise 8 times. Exercise number 3. Inhale your arms back towards your ears. Keep the spine perfectly stable. Exhale, bring the hands back towards the knees. Halfway to the knees, engaging the pelvic floor and the transverse abdominis. Inhale the arms back. You might feel your ribs wanting to lift off the floor. Resist that. That's using the upper aspect of your transverse abdominis. And exhale, bring the arms towards the knees, just past 90 degrees. Repeat this exercise 16 times. For more challenge, you could add weights. Start with 1-pound weights. Inhale the arms back towards the ears. And then exhale the arms towards the knees. Remember, the spine has to stay perfectly stable using the whole transverse abdominis and the engagement of the pelvic floor. Inhale the arms back, not even to the ears with weights, okay? Don't go too far. And then exhale, bring the arms down. The 4th exercise is lifting one leg off the floor and then the other. Exhale, engage the pelvic floor and the transverse abdominis. Pull the hip points towards each other, squeeze the rope, bring the feet in a little closer, posteriorly tilt your pelvis, lift both feet off the floor. Inhale, set the right foot down, and then exhale, set the left foot down. And then inhale, bring the right foot off the floor, all the while pulling weight out of the left foot. Exhale, set it down. Inhale, bring the left foot off the floor. Exhale, set it down. If you're able to do this with a neutral spine, then go ahead and do it. Otherwise, keep a posterior tilt to your pelvis to protect the low back, but all the while engaging the transverse abdominis. After 8 repetitions to each side, you can add the opposite arm and moving with the opposite leg in the same direction. Inhale, right arm, left leg off the floor. The first version of dying bug that I'm going to teach you today. Exhale, set it back down. Inhale, lift right arm, left leg off the floor. Exhale, set it back down. Repeat that 8 times to that side and then switch sides. Inhale, right leg and left arm off the floor. Exhale, set it down. Inhale, right leg, left arm. Stay stable through the torso, nothing's moving here. Exhale, set it back down. Once you've mastered moving the opposite leg and arm in the same direction, you can add alternating sides. Inhale, right arm, left leg off the floor. Exhale, both back to the floor. Inhale, right leg, left arm off the floor. Exhale, both back to the floor. Inhale, alternating sides. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Hug your knees in. Release your pelvic floor. Release your low belly.